Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. I can't get enough of Stevie Ray Vaughan. His music creates infectious giggles, so why not analyze 13 minutes of it instead of the normal 5 or 6? That's right, this video is going to be long and full of laughter, so grab a drink that you're okay with occasionally snorting, and let's get to it. I really love the way he plays with tone quality in his guitar. It feels to me like this is the closest sound I've ever heard in a guitar to a voice. I think that's why it gets me so much. Also, I really love the dragged out tempo in this. It just feels like almost swampy. Go back. Man, the crowd is so excited. I don't blame them. Ooh, nice bracelet. Like, for me, I think about the sounds that he's making. I think about ways that in the voice you would bring something forward and then pull it back and forward, and this sort of like play between if you want to keep something innish or if you want to really laser it. And it's just so cool how he'll quickly go back and forth between the two. It's almost like his guitar is talking. Yeah, that section right there, I think that was my sister when she used to just like talk at a mile a minute. It was very impressive. I love my sister. It's really Gabby. That's a good whistle back there. His phrasing is just so stupid good. Like the way he'll like pulse along, be like, yeah, it's gonna be this big moment, then I'm gonna just lighten back off of that and sustain you and dangle this moment out in front of you. It's just, I think it's incredible how he can take us along on a journey on the guitar. It's just really insane. I feel like he toys with my emotions. In a good way. That whistle! Bravo to whoever does that in the audience. Woo! Anticipation.
the Tin Pan Alley. See what was going on. Things was too hot down there. Couldn't stay very long.
Okay, even in those few phrases, he actually is doing the same thing with his voice that I mentioned on the guitar earlier, where he has a more full-throated sound, especially for those low notes, which often there's a sort of expansion that can happen in the throat to help enhance low notes. And that low, it's got a little more reverb, and the sound isn't lasered on those low notes. It's more husky, and then he gets like a kind of sound where it gets a lot more laser, a little more focus right here as he goes up. And he's doing that same kind of tonal shift back and forth like crazy on the guitar. It's so cool to hear him play in the same way with his voice. Back a little.
Went down the Tin Pan Alley. See what was going on.
Right there at the end, right? Had a little meow.
Things was too hot down there. Couldn't stay very long. Hey, hey, hey. Ah, it's the roughest place I've ever been.
Oh, shoot. That moment, the way he used his vibrato there, that sounds like vibrato that you would put on a guitar as well. I think it's so cool how his incredible guitar playing enters into his voice. We see this a lot. When somebody's learned an instrument and they go and sing afterwards, there are so many influences from that instrument. Like if you've learned piano first, piano is ultimately percussive, right? You're just going boop and you play a note. And that often makes pianists think about pitches in a very separated kind of way. Whereas if you've got a string instrument, you know that there's a gradation of pitch that goes between each note you might play. And so singers think about pitch differently, often depending on what instrument they were introduced to before. He is so good at the guitar. His expression is next level. So his expression and voice is echoing that experience.
Ah, it's the roughest place I've ever been.
That vibrato is definitely engineered like a guitar vibrato. Right? Same rate even.
All the people's down there. Lord, you're living for the whiskey, wine, and jam.
So gnarly up there on top. Oh man, it's got some nasality in there, which works really well. It needs like a little certain gnarly snarl for the blues. There was a moment in there that I just guffawed. It was impossible to hold back. And it was the way he added an extra puff of air at the end of his phrase. I thought it was so cool. Let's go back to it.
All the people's down there.
Right there. Oh, that was perfect timing. He does a little ha at the end of that.
All the people's down there. Lord, you're living for the whiskey, wine, and jam. Get up in the morning, before the break of day, before she can wash her face and hand. You know she ready
So Johnny Copeland is the other performer here who I haven't heard before. And I love that totally suave contrast that he brings to the table here. Especially because Stevie Ray Vaughan's voice has that snarl so present in his upper register. Johnny Copeland comes in and it sounds like he's got some snarl available for sure, but there was like a restraint in the sound and a smoothness to it, while still being the same song. That was a really cool handoff. Very, very surprising. I'm going to go back to the beginning of Johnny's solo here, but before I sort of wrap up that first section, I just have to say the duetting back and forth between sung lines and guitar lines, which really, to my mind, they both feel like sung lines. I think it's got to be one of the best examples of carrying a line over to another instrument. It's so conversational in the way that Stevie Ray Vaughan has put it together. I will probably use it in the future as a demonstration in lots of teaching settings because I think it's so, so incredible. Okay, I'm gonna go back here to your beginning, Johnny. Yeah.
She get up in the morning, before the break of day, before she can wash her face and hands. You know she ready to go away, yeah.
I'm fascinated by the restraint in his sound, and it's particularly happening at the ends of phrases. Instead of holding a note a little bit longer, he cuts it off really quickly after he finishes a phrase. Back. Let's go back to here.
She get up in the morning.
Right, it's a very quick cutoff.
Before the break of day, before she can wash her face and hands. You know she ready to go away, yeah. Hey, 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 reach up. What kind of play in this here alley be?
It almost takes my breath away the way he will suddenly back off of a phrase. I'm like, oh, wait, what more do you want to say? And I feel that he's able to keep that energy lifted in the gaps between. That is the sign of a pro. There are a lot of people that just totally drop the energy between sung phrases. You know, like da 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 da, da 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 da. And if you have a da 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 da, da 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 da, that carrying of the energy in silence is something that you see true performers do. That was really cool. It also just constantly feels like he's almost restraining, and then we hear little bits of a bubble out, and then he kind of pulls it back. So I hear this play of energy that's really, really fun. Back to here.
You know she ready to go away, yeah. Hey, 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 reach up. What kind of play in this here alley be? Well, now every woman I get, y'all. Every woman I get, you know, this alley takes her away from me.
Wow. Okay. We're going to go back and look at that phrase.
Well, now every woman.
The hook into every wow, it's like so overdone for most every other genre, but totally works here. It's like ballsy.
Well, now every woman I get, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm just thinking what would have happened if I ever sang like that in an opera, and oh, I would be crucified by teachers, by coaches, by the press. Oh. But here, it's just really fun.
Well, now every woman I get, y'all. Every woman I get, you know, this alley takes her away from me.
I'm really curious where that extra distortion on top of the singing came from. I feel like it was very epiglottic folds. Not entirely sure though. Hopefully we'll hear a little bit more of that later.
I heard a pistol shoot.
Ooh. That was cool.
I heard a pistol shoot.
The best part isn't just the musicality, but the laugh afterwards. Yup.
Pistol shoot. Yeah, it was a 44. Somebody killed a crap shooter cause he didn't know. Shake, roll and roll. Hey. Hey, hey, hey. What kind of place can it alley be?
This is the perfect example of how that was interweaved between instrument and voice, and the phrase was taken over just seamlessly. Oh.
What kind of place can it alley be?
I'm going to call that a guitar tickle right there. It was a guitar tickle. I think he's got one of the most brilliant musical minds I've heard. And it's because of the way that he's not just amazing in one instrument or the other. He's amazing in both. But the way that he's thinking about music all the way through, the way that he's completely lost in making music happen in the moment, I think it is incredible, truly one of a kind. It makes you want to get lost in the music with him, and not just want to. It's very easy to get lost in the music with him and be carried off into some sort of wonderful, crazy world. Whoa, this song is dark sometimes, and I'm just giggling because of how good the music is. Guitar tickle.
All those people down there.
He did that thing again, the puff of air afterwards.
All those people down there. Lord, you live with all that whiskey, wine, and gin.
I feel like I understand why these two are performing together. Before, it was an interesting switch off, and I thought, oh, did somebody else think of this idea? But right here, in the way that Johnny is playing his guitar and creating these phrases that really string us along to the next moment, there's a similarity. I feel like maybe they have similar influences. There's a similarity in how they're approaching that musical phrasing, the way it kind of crusts over a certain moment and then keeps you going. The daring continuation of just one pitch over and over, right? It feels to me like this would be uh, a very attractive solo to Stevie Ray. Oh, interesting. Also, the way he enters on that line isn't dissimilar from the way that he entered a couple times on his vocal lines, where he just, instead of having a gradual entrance, he went bang right into it. Oops. Mm-hmm. That vibrato is really cool. Ooh, and listen to that restraint. But again, like the way that he's approaching this, it sounds similar to his singing. This is happening for both musicians. I think we're switching over here. I just have to say, it's harder to create a really sustained line on a slow tempo like this. A lot of times, if you have a faster tempo and you're singing a long note, all of that rhythmic energy underneath makes it a little bit easier to sustain a line, to keep us engaged. And in this case, I think it's really impressive to hear these guitars essentially sing over a slower tempo like this and just pull on us so much with moments of anticipation after moments of anticipation. It creates so much divine energy throughout a very, very slow tempo. Okay, back and maybe next solo. Oh, I got chills. I got chills from that. Huh. Oh, I have no idea what that technique is called. I love the effect of it, though. It almost feels like butterfly wings somehow. It's really cool, and it gave me the chills. Oh, oh my goodness! I want to go back and listen to it again. Ah. And the way it's shut down out of that is really cool. It feels like there's a certain grounding that happens after that. Oh man, what a cool effect. Is that something that people normally do on guitar? I don't know. I don't think I've seen that very much. And yeah, it's pretty delightful to experience. You guys have really good suggestions. Thank you.
I heard a woman scream. Yeah, and I peeped through the door. Some cat was working on Annie with her. Lord, Lord, with a 2x4.
Oh.
Hey.
Wow. Wow. Okay. That is definitely some rough lyrics, but it's really cool if we take a look at some of the expression of these. The way he uses offsets, so the moment where he's really coming off of the voice, he adds a bunch of expression in at the end.
To the door.
Door. And it goes down almost a whole octave with that offset.
Some cat was working on Annie with her.
Same thing there.
Lord, Lord, with a 2x4. Hey.
I love that full sound that he went up to the top with there. It's really, yeah, it has got some nice warmth in it that contrasts when he brings in the snarl at other times. It's really great exploration of sound. Back one more time. By the way, Tin Pan Alley, I know that this is a cover of a song, and the lyrics are definitely talking about how rough Tin Pan Alley is, refers to a place in New York. But it's interesting because when I think about Tin Pan Alley, I'm really thinking about some of the incredible composers that have come out of there. It was like a whole big area where song publishers were hanging out, and I think about like the Gershwins or Irving Berlin, Cole Porter, Rodgers and Hammerstein. Of course, that is definitely more on the classical and musical theater side of things. So I think we're talking about some different stuff in this one. But it's so interesting how this version of Tin Pan Alley is not the same version as the one I studied in school.
Peep to the door. Some cat was working on Annie with her. Lord, Lord, with a 2x4. Hey. I was a rubber
solo. That's a perfect example of this switch of expressions. The way he had that grit forward and then totally mellowed it out, brought less compression into the sound, brought more air, a little more floof. Right, this is here, lots of compression, grit, and then suddenly mellow. And that vibrato is so cool. I like the organ echoes there too.
All the people down there, Lord, you're killing for that whiskey, wine, and gin.
Ooh, switch up. Oh, wait, sorry. Right before you sing, it was interesting how they switched that off between the guitars. Listen to the pitches. There's a handoff on that pitch. Smooth. Interesting when they're doing either a trill or vibrato or just like a really wide vibrato that sounds like a trill. Whenever they're doing something like that, these two men have a very different rate that they approach it at. Johnny's is much quicker and Stevie Ray's is a little slower. And I think you can hear the influence of that in both of their vibratos. Back once more. It's so funny. Stevie Ray's little background plucking is almost like little plucks from a harp right there. Ooh, cool articulation. Huh. I'm going to go back a little bit here. I just got to say the more plucked and dry kind of feeling that we heard there in Johnny's solo really made it stand out in a different and new way. I loved that. I also love the way sometimes he'd reach essentially the next harmony a little early or would delay it so that when he landed it perfectly, it had a different kind of effect. It wasn't like you could just expect it anymore. It gave me new appreciation. It's almost like laughing. Cool rhythm there too.
saw a cop standing there with his hand on his gun. Said this is a red boys now. Lord, Lord, nobody run. Hey, hey, hey. Ah, it's the roughest place I've ever been.
That was cool. The vibrato that he adds there, that's the kind of vibrato that isn't, it's not totally natural the way we often talk about like a natural vibrato where it's just a balance in the tone. This one I think is influenced more by air. It's a little manufactured, right? So that's going to be introducing a little more elements of tension to create that vibrato. Not all tension is bad. When it's done tastefully like this, it's not going to be damaging his voice. If he always sang like that, probably be a little too much tension. But I want to go back because there are a couple really cool things. First of all, the like little laugh back. I love that. These guys have a great relationship going. And then he had this like hilarious high little extra musical interjection that I almost missed. It was quiet and fun. I think I have to go back further. Sorry. Boop, 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 boop.
I saw a cop standing there
That.
with his hand on his gun.
And then that little high, like,
The red boys
that's so cool.
Lord, Lord, nobody run.
Oh, that's so nasal.
Ah, it's the roughest place I've ever been.
Oh, that somehow reminds me of Cab Calloway. But I think it's because there's like a certain hootiness and scariness that he brings into the tone with that mellow, more hollow sound. It really works for this atmosphere that he's creating.
Ah, it's the roughest place I've ever been.
It's almost mournful.
Well, they took me with me, Ali. Lord, it took me right back to the bed.
Whoa. First of all, that high note, I love the angst in it. That was good. And then the way he just flips the tone so quickly.
Lord, it took me right back to the bed.
And that offsetting and the huh. Oh. I love that resolve up that happened in there. That made me just kind of swoon. Let's go back. Goes up instead of down to resolve. Yeah. That's awesome. This song is at once masterful and entertaining. I love the way that they're able to both string along emotions and then also do it with such flair, yet such classiness at times. It's just so impressive, especially how they're able to use this slower tempo and fill it with so much anticipation at every single moment. It has me hooked the whole time. Oh my goodness, wow. If you want to see some more great analysis of songs with awesome, awesome guitar, you can check out this playlist over here. And may you fall more in love with music every day.